Hello, everyone. My name is Debbie Kelly. I'm a field specialist in horticulture with University of Missouri Extension. I'm located in Jefferson County. Today, what I'd like to do is present to you a conversation with Shira Yancey. She is the Executive Director of the Franklin County Farm Service Agency, and that is an agency within USDA that has funding available in different programs for farmers across the state. Specifically, what we're going to talk about today is going to be about the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program 2, specifically, because this is, from what I understand, a little bit better than the first one that came out when we're talking about specialty crops. So I know that farmers have had a lot of market disruptions this year, especially those with farmers markets and having to adapt, roadside stands and U-pick operations. A lot of things that have come into play. And they've had some extra associated costs because of trying to deal with COVID and trying to meet their market demands and to be able to sell all of their products. So Shira, can you tell us a little bit about what really is the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program, number 2, and then tell us how it is a little bit different from the first one that came out.
Okay, it's good to be with you all today. Both of these programs are due to what the coronavirus has done in the marketplace. CFAP 1 was primarily for crops that could not be sold due to the loss of marketing channels. Some things that rotted in the fields or spoiled on the trucks, or you just didn't have a market for it. So there were specific categories that each one had to fit into, and there was a limited number of crops that were available. But CFAP 2 has opened that up, and it is to help producers absorb some of the increased marketing costs. So CFAP 2 is based on total 2019 sales. So it doesn't limit you to, if your crops rotted or something like that. It's what you sold in 2019. And there is a huge amount of crops now listed.
Great, thanks. And so really, who is eligible for this funding and assistance?
Anyone who is still commercially selling their crops, still in the business of producing the crops, and they have to be selling any of the 230 plus crops that we have. And you had to have sales in 2019. Now, there is a little exception to that. If you didn't sell in 19, but you are in 20, there is some exceptions to that, and we can work with you on that. This also includes specialty livestock raised for food, fur, fiber, or feathers. This is going to include those things like your llamas, your alpacas, goats, many, many other things that you have. But it would be from, just like the other, it would be from your 2019 total sales.
So that's really interesting because some of those smaller livestock, the specialty crop producers across the state have some of those. In particular, they will have some poultry. So that's really important to know that as well. Mm-hmm. So speaking of specialty crops, what kinds of specialty crops in particular are available for this as compared to the first one that actually occurred?
This about any fruits or vegetables, from apples to watermelons, alfalfa sprouts to yams. This also includes tree nuts. If you have some type of specialty crop that you sold in 2019, you can see if these are eligible by visiting the farmers.gov/CFAP for a complete list, and it lists all those things. But basically, I would say if you had any kind of production of a specialty crop that you sold in 2019, you definitely want to check out and make sure to see if you're on that list, because, all of the ones that we're used to seeing around this area are on the list. Let's see. I wanted to tell you, too, that the way this works is you would give us your total production of what you sold in 2019. That would be from the January through December, and that might include some of your 2018 products. that you actually started selling in 19. So it's actually 2019 sales. And we talked about the livestock too. So if you sold goats, or if you sold some of the fur or some of that stuff, that's all going to be included under these sales. So you would include that figure along with the sales of the maybe pumpkins or or apples or whatever that you're selling. It's a total one figure that we would have. That being said, when you give us that figure, we would kind of like to know what else that what came about to get that figure, so that if you were spot checked in the future, we can help you out with knowing you told us, you had $2,000 from this sale and plus another $1,000 from this sale or something like that. So that would help us out and you too in the future.
Right. And so usually when we talk about these fundings, there's always going to be a deadline. So what is the deadline for this particular program?
December 11th to 2020 is the deadline. And the best way to apply is to contact our office. There is information through that farmers.gov CFAP thing with an application, but there's a lot of additional paperwork that may have to go along with that. So for us to be able to walk you through what you need, it's just as simple to call us and talk with us. And the application, just like I was saying before, it's for the specialty crops, is that 2019 sale. It's one figure. So if you get that information together and give us a call, then we can help you walk through the whole application process.
Wow, that sounds pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. I have a couple of slides because some folks are visual. I am one of those visual types of people where I like to see what I'm looking at. So here, there are going to be 3 slides. So Shira, if you want to just talk a little bit about how do I apply here?
Yes, as it's telling you, if you're going to be a new producer of ours, we're going to have this information. So we're going to ask you for your name and address, your personal information. You're going to need your social security number, or if you're an LLC, we're going to need that ID number. We also have some questions about your farm operating plan, your adjusted gross income. We have a limit there that you can't make. Your adjusted gross income has to be less than $900,000 and that. So, and then you may, depending on what you're doing with just the specialty crops, you don't have to have an acreage report for those. It's all on sales. But if you had something like alfalfa, we pay on those. Those are not on sales. Those are on acres. And so you might have to do a crop report with us too. But the forms, it says there, are on the website. But like I said before, we would love to walk you through those forms and make sure that you don't, miss anything. And then go ahead.
And then also on the slide here, if you don't know where your farm service agency is located, or if where's one in the county for what county you're in, you can actually go to this website right here, and they can actually locate your county, or where, like my county in Jefferson County, we don't have a farm service agency. And so we always go to Union, where Shira is located. So this is a good site for folks to look at. And then on this next slide, if you'd like to talk about this one for our Shira.
Yes, that is the farmers.gov website, and it is very good, and they have done a good job of making it very easy to get through. So you can see the listing there of all of the eligible crops, what kind of walks you through the whole process and stuff, but it will help you see if what you are producing is eligible.
And I actually went out to that eligible crops website specifically, and it does list the nut crops, it lists the specialty crops, nursery crops, and it's really definitive as that. And so that is what I thought was a very excellent website for folks to look at.
It is very user-friendly.
And then this last slide here.
Yes, you can call. We have a call center if you need to talk with somebody else. If you have need Spanish or any other things like that, you can call this and they will help you out with that. So that call center is definitely, they'll do whatever they need to do to get you the information.
Well, thank you very much, Shira, for joining me today. I appreciate it. There's a lot of great information. I hope that farmers out there will go check out this particular program and contact their local FSA office. So thank you very much, Shira.
Thanks for having me.